So, first impressions when I picked up this car, which I've had now for about a month, was, oh dear, this looks like an old man's car. And we have in fact nicknamed this car the hearse because of its obvious visual similarity to a hearse. However, we're going to see that my horrible pejorative title is actually unwarranted, and actually it's a pretty superb car. Let's investigate, shall we? Walk around. Let's do a quick walk around. Alloy wheels, a front boot or frunk or whatever, which I can't seem to be able to open. I think it's one of those cars where there is no opening. Fully enclosed front. There's no vents on the front because it's an electric car, and a square back. So we've been testing this against the Tesla Y, and we found out that the space is superior to the Tesla Y because the back is rectangular and doesn't curve back. So that has been a big plus. So we actually moved half a sofa in this car, and it wouldn't fit in the Tesla Y. Let's open the boot, which is full. So there's a secret little hatch here. And as you can see, the space in the back is actually very good. I can fold the seats down, and the back seats can change their recline. So I have to double click on this to get the doors open. Okay. And as you see, that's the standard back seat room. I'm not the tallest of people, and obviously I have no trouble fitting in this car quite easily. I'm sure if you were a 6-footer or 2-meter person, you'd be happy. This pull here pulls down the seat. Let's just give it a go. Can reach over. It's not electric like it might be in some other cars, but you can see there's a huge load space. So I can't show that because this car has been a bit of a workhorse in the last couple of weeks since we're moving, sadly. But there is a huge amount of space. This bar comes off, of course. And so then you just have a flat, and it really is a flat load space. It's about 2 meters long, by the way. So that's pretty decent. User interface. So on this model we have 2 screens, a driver's screen and a middle screen, and it's touch sensitive on the right hand side, the middle screen, but not the driver's screen. On the steering wheel we've got lots of buttons which are in fact very useful. So these buttons have got a press function usually, and also a slide function. So in other words, this is the volume control. You can mute it, but you can also slide to increase. There we go. Increase or decrease the volume, or mute or unmute the volume. So it's quite a clever system. The panel here is controlled by the buttons on the left side, and the panel here is controlled by the buttons on the right side. So just to show you on the left, and by the way, according to my Swiss website, this panel is an optional extra, and I think is the same for the UK vehicle. So we can press the home screen here, and then you can see we can then move left and right with this tiny button here to go into the different visuals. So one of them could actually be a map display. So let's just press OK, and we get the map display. Go back to home. So if we can go, I think we can go up and down, you see, and then we can change these different parameters here. So we can switch the head-up display off or on, and so forth. It's actually quite a lovely system, and actually it's a better system than in other Mercedes, for example, the Mercedes Smart system. I found this to be superior in that it doesn't show you too much information, and the buttons are very intuitive to use. By the way, there is a heads-up display that won't come across on the video, and the nice thing about heads-up display to me was that it's in colour. So some of the other ones I've seen are only in black and white. This is in colour, so it's a very small thing. Moving on to the central display, I think a nice thing here is it is quite a simple system. There are lots of buttons down here, so all the climate control can be done via physical buttons and not via access to the screen, which I like. These are mechanical with an off and an on, and here we can scroll left and right. Of course, you've got things like Android Auto and CarPlay. You've also got a 4G modem in this machine, so you can connect to it remotely via the smartphone app. But the data package is optional. So, for example, I did install Spotify on here, but I couldn't use Spotify because it said, oh, I've got no data package, but you can go to the Mercedes store and buy a package, which I didn't feel like doing. You could actually link your smartphone's data to this. So you can export your smartphone's Wi-Fi, and then you can link the car's Wi-Fi to here. Obviously, that's a bit of a faff, so what they want you to do is buy a data package. Again, I really like this because it's very simple. You've got Mercedes settings, you've got the inbuilt navigation, which is useful because, of course, it's better than some smartphone navigation product, which are via Apple CarPlay or Android Auto for finding charging stations, linking your phone, playing media, be that from your phone or DAB. That's the DAB radio, playing media, everything except the DAB. So you have digital radio standard. And you have a few apps, not very many Mercedes-Benz apps, but there you go. You can see them there. That's it for the infotainment and user interface. I think it's excellent. A nice place to be. So I think the EQB is an excellent place to be driving within. The controls are very intuitive. We've looked at the infotainment and the graphics here. But also, we'll now go on to some of the other buttons. We've got the seat controls here. We've got windows here, child window locks there. We've got paddles. The paddles are changing the regen braking. And it is not the same as one pedal driving. I didn't find one pedal driving. So I think the difference is with one pedal driving, which this does not have, if that was enabled, let's say, on another electric car, that enables you to completely use just one pedal and come to a halt. Whereas on the max regen here, you can effectively come to a crawl. So this will smooth the car out and come to a crawl, but it won't come to a halt. But you can press the brake pedal hard or keep it down, and that will bring up a hold screen on the actual screen of the car. So that's an alternative, but it doesn't mean to say that you have to press the brake pedal with your right foot, and so you're using two of the pedals, not one pedal. There's lots of speakers in this car. There's also a sunroof that actually opens, which it's very rare these days. I'm not sure I actually like that, because I think in the fullness of time, all sunroofs that open leak. So I'm not a fan of that idea. There's a motorised sunroof. Looking behind me, you'll see there's a lot of space. We're going to cover that in a second. Okay, we're going to look at some of the stats of this car. Now, I may be wrong, but according to my research, in the UK, we can get an EQB 250, and that is between 50, at the time of presenting, which is in August 2025, that was between £52 and £61,000 without extras. Now in Switzerland, we can get an EQB 350, and this is the one I'm showing you here is the EQB 350 4MATIC, and 4MATIC means four-wheel drive. So in the UK, we get a paltry 190 brake horsepower. I couldn't find the 350 on the UK website at all, which surprised me. But in Switzerland here, we get the 350 EQB, and that's got 287 brake horsepower. So it's 100 brake horsepower more than in Switzerland, and it just transforms the car. You can imagine this is quite a quick car. Ergonomically, there's buttons, as I said, inside for the control. There's also a dedicated audio button, and there's a mode button to change. So I get used to just coming in the car and just double tapping the mode button, and it puts it straight into sport mode. So sport mode is what I use all the time and makes this car, with its 287 brake horsepower, pretty nippy. Other good points about this car are the actual size. Now, despite the fact that it's 2,170 kilos, it's actually only, drum roll, 2,020 mils wide, and that is not wide. So if you remember Polestar 4, which I viewed earlier, was 2.15 meters wide, and this is 2.02 meters wide. So it's a lot skinnier, and in town I felt very comfortable driving it. With the Polestar 4 or a Model Y, which is over 2.1 meters wide, I feel distinctly uncomfortable driving. It is 4.68 meters long, so that's quite long, and that's reflected with the large load carrying capacity, and it's 1834 high. It's not bad, but I absolutely detest the bars on the top of the roof. I've been told that a lot of families like to use them once a year when they go on holiday, but what about the rest of the year? Well, it's just I don't know. I just don't like I don't like neither the look nor the usefulness once a year. I'm afraid it doesn't attract me. So that's the size, the weight, and the performance, and the price. By the way, in Switzerland, it's 56,000 to 62,000 francs. And 62,000 francs will get you this top-of-the-line model before you start adding on accessories, of which there are not very many. Yeah, I think in various countries, you can have an AMG package, you can have paint for an extra 1,000, you can have better wheels for an extra 2,000. You can also have something called comfort suspension, which allows you to lower the vehicle height. I couldn't find that at all, and in some territories you must make sure that you order the best multimedia screen, which this vehicle has already, which are those two screens which I showed you earlier. So what are my summary thoughts about the Mercedes EQB 350 4MATIC? Well, I really like the car. Despite my initial horror when I first saw the car, thinking, oh, it looks a bit like a hearse, it has proved a very practical, reliable and solid vehicle. It's got, by the way, a 70 kilowatt usable battery. And here in Switzerland they claim it can do about 450 kilometers, but when I switched on the engine and had a little look, it said, oh, about 410. So it thinks it can do 410. The specs say a little bit longer. It's been a very solid vehicle. It feels incredibly tough. I would and have had no hesitation in using this as a workhorse for the last 4 weeks. We have transported a huge sofa in it. We have transported IKEA cabinets, IKEA tables. We have been to the déchetterie to take back rubbish from our apartment. We have done all sorts of exciting things, including going to the mountains and ferrying other people around when they came to visit us here. So it's a kind of car that you can sort of use without thinking about. And some electric cars are very delicate and you have to charge them, you know, they're difficult to charge, or they feel a bit, you know, sensitive. This feels like it's solid. And I do feel very comforted by not only its performance, but the way that the regen braking is set up. It's very, very smooth, and you can change the regen with the pedals on the steering wheel very quickly, and it just feels very well smoothed out. The algorithm that does the regen and the acceleration is very, very good. A bit like the Polestar 4, it is very well done. So there you have it. I think it's a tremendous vehicle, but there's one big gotcha. And the big gotcha to me is the price. Now in Switzerland, this is 62,000 francs for this top of the line model, plus a bit of extras, let's call it 65. In the UK, it's priced at about the same price for the much lower powered 250, as far as I can tell. And I couldn't even find the 350. So the 250's got 190 brake horsepower. And I think that's going to be a bit of a sluggard. I've not driven that car, but it's got 100 bhp less. And this guy I have to put into sports mode to really enjoy it. So I think in the UK, you've got two problems. Firstly, that the car would be underpowered for a 250, not a 350. And secondly, the price at over £60,000, to me, that's quite a lot. And so I would have less hesitation in recommending British buyers to buy the lower powered 250, top of the line, rather than the 350, which you see here. So I suppose you'll all have to come to Switzerland to buy the car and enjoy the beautiful non-stop great weather we have here in Lausanne, and the pothole-free roads and everything like that, and the mountains. So it's a solid yes for Switzerland. It's a bit of a maybe for the UK. Thanks for watching.